Hello, good evening. Welcome. Good evening. My name is Obindako. Welcome. I want to share with you briefly what I have termed store up knowledge. Store up knowledge. Store. Most people use mobile phones, smartphones, and if you charge the phone overnight, and let's say it gets to 100, hopefully, if your battery is good, in the morning, maybe it will take you some hours, depending on how much activities go on the phone. I am of the thinking that life is lived out of the knowledge that each individual has, that every one of us has, the amount of knowledge, and then the quality of knowledge. What you are attracted to shows the quality of knowledge that you have and the amount of knowledge that you have. In fact, the quality of our lives reflect the kind of knowledge that we have and the amount of knowledge that we have. I think that the difference between men, the difference between countries, the difference between families and companies has a lot to do with the kind of knowledge that they have, the kind of knowledge that they have stored, the kind of knowledge that they are spending. That has a lot to do with the resource that we get. So I'm talking about store up knowledge. If you're a young man, if you're a young woman, there is nothing that far more, maybe, that will contribute to how you turn up in this life, how you are able to live your aspirations, how you're able to live a life that is relevant, how you're able to live a more fulfilling life than the investment that we all do in terms of knowledge. We all have time to live. We all have time every day. Every day we have about 24 hours, I think. The things that you spend your life to do, the things that you spend your time to do, to acquire. If you can spend a lot of time to acquire the relevant knowledge that will help you to achieve what you want to achieve in this life, it will be of much importance. Whatever that we do in this life, whether it's marriage, whether it's business that you're building, whatever that you're doing with your life, you are going to spend from the knowledge that you have stored. And unfortunately, part of the world that we live in, knowledge is not one of the things that we so much pay attention to. A lot of us believe that a lot of things will just happen to us. Just especially those of us who go to church, we think that things will happen to us because God is there. But the statistics and the results don't prove that, because I know that one of the things that if you read the Bible you will see is knowledge. The Bible talks of knowledge more than any other book, I think, because laws are in place in this life. There is a law of gravity. There are a lot of laws. There's a law of flotation. There are a lot of things that apply. Let's say when you're driving, there is a law. There's some things that we must know for us to drive and drive well. If you eat and you want to be healthy, there are things that you must know about food for you to be healthy. If you want to build a successful family, there are laws, there are principles, there are things that we must know. If we don't know those things, we will not be able to build those successful things that we want to build. The same when it comes to business. People who are able to build anything, especially those entrepreneurship, for instance, if you're able to pick an idea from nothing and you're able to build an idea into a business, there should be something that you know. There should be something that you have discovered. That is why you are succeeding. This is the fact that most of us, they have told us not to consider. So if you want to succeed with your life, if you want to do anything and do it well and get some kind of resource, you must store up knowledge. We all have time. Sometimes when I go through town and I look at Africans, I look at our people, especially the young ones, the people that we have sent to school. Sometimes when they are playing this European football and you see the whole town, every corner, you see them watching Chelsea, Manchester United, shouting. Sometimes I tend to think, is there any hope? Why? Because the same people who are that late are the same people who are using their time to not store the knowledge that will build their country, that will build their continent. You see very bright, energetic young men and women can watch football from morning to evening. If any group of people have a lot of catch-ups to do, a lot of things to catch up, if you look around the world, we are the only people who are not producing much to change the very things that we must, because why? Before you can produce anything, there has to be relevant knowledge. You must have the knowledge to produce that. So let's say if I want to go to the farm and produce, let's say, cassava, I should know something about farming, and I should know how to turn that knowledge into skill, which means that I will go through some kind of training, and then that skill will be able to produce that farm, that watermelon that I want to produce, that mango that I want to produce, whatever that I want to produce. So if somebody is producing, let's say, mobile phone, that person, the foundation of it is that that person knows something. That person has some kind of store up knowledge, and out of that knowledge, that person is able to build skill. And out of that skill, that person will be able to build a product. If you want to build a business, the same. There's some kind of knowledge that you must have, and there's some kind of transition. The knowledge must be able to translate into a skill, and that skill can build a product or can build a business. And so if you're using your time to watch entertainment like the way we do, yes, music is a product. Entertainment is a product. The only thing is that those products that we are spending a lot of time producing in Africa, they are not changing the fundamentals of our problems. So you have a lot of people producing. We don't need a lot of entertainers. We don't need a lot of sports, because we need things that to make sure that our people can have better health, better hospitals, our people can be literate, can produce, can feed ourselves, can build better houses, can build programs. Those are the things that we must store the knowledge in. But it's not us. Why? Because they told us that, entertainment, sports, politics, radio, those are the things that we are spending our time every day. Go through anywhere in Africa. Catch up any conversation between two people. It's about Akufo-Addo or John Mahama. It's about Buhari or some other people. It's about Uhuru or something else. We are not spending the time to build the knowledge that can help us to build a skill, and where we can translate that skill to building the product, the things that are needed for us to develop. So if you don't store up the right knowledge, life is so short. The other day you were 30, the next day you are 40, the next day you are 50. If you're not changing those times, that the hours that we are spending into building the knowledge that you need to move your life to where you want to go, then it's no magic. That's why you can see, I'm sorry to say this, but that's why you can see a lot of these young boys and young women who are, congregating all of us and telling us things because you are not spending a lot of time to store up the knowledge as to how to live life, because life must be lived out of the stored knowledge that you have. So if you're not studying, if you're not expanding your mind, if you don't understand something, if you don't spend time to study it, you will not be able to have the required skill. And once you don't have the required skill, you cannot produce results in that thing. So most people are just trying to build something, like the way today is Sunday. Most people had weddings yesterday, and today they go to church to thank God. But you ask yourself, how much of knowledge do you have in terms of how to build a family, how to marry, how to make sure that this union becomes successful, how you can build something out of it? Most people, not at all, nothing. They've never read any book. They probably have not seen any example. Maybe the parents were not together. There are so many things that are coming against that. Just we don't have the store up knowledge. And once you don't have the knowledge, it becomes so much difficult trying to build a skill. I remember all the things that we have tried to do as people who are trying to build business. A lot of our errors came from the fact that we did not know what we were doing. And if you did not know what you were doing, it means that you will not have the skill to produce the results that you have. So store up knowledge is so much important. We all have time. You get up tomorrow morning, have a deliberate plan, have a structure. What are the areas that you want to get results? What is it that you want to produce with your life? Then backtrack. Do I have the required knowledge? Do I have the required skill? If I don't have it, I must go and get the required knowledge. They are in books, they are on the internet, they are in videos, they are in audios. If you don't spend your time to get the required knowledge, store it, because what is attractive to you shows the level of your knowledge, it shows the level of your wisdom, and shows the level of your understanding in terms of life. What is attractive to you? What do you call standard? What do you call a good thing? What do you see? When everybody else is watching this, what do you use your time? What do you use your time to do? The other day I was reading an article where one of those, one of the greatest entrepreneurs said that there was a time in his life that he said that he would not listen to music and he would not listen to a lot of things. He was not watching TV. Why? Because he was focusing on acquiring the best. He was storing up knowledge and he was converting that knowledge into skill. And that's why he was able to build a great company. That's why he was able to produce a lot of products. So what you want to produce with your life, whatever you want to produce to that, because I think somebody should tell these Africans, especially the young men and the women that we have sent to university, that the reason you went to school is to get the basic skill so that you can store up knowledge, the knowledge required for you, whatever you want to do with your life. Do you want to become a prominent person in politics, in business, in academia? What is it? Is it in medicine? Is it in agriculture? Whatever you want to become known, whatever you want to produce with your life. Because I think and I believe and I know that every human being should at least produce something with their lives. Something should be that you say that, oh, this guy once lived and he was able to produce this. Something. You're not going to produce anything until you have first the required knowledge. And that required knowledge does not come from heaven. It's something that you must trade your time. So when all your friends are watching, when all your friends are playing and spending hours debating on things that will not change anything about them, you are spending that time to store up the knowledge that you can move into scale. And from that scale that you can build a product with. So whatever that you decide to build with your life, what is your talent? You see, the graph is like that. You have a talent. Every one of us at least was gifted when they were coming here. God, I don't believe that there is anybody that was created that is not intelligent. That didn't come with a talent. God gave us talent. You can only understand your talent and to become relevant to society and to yourself when you have the required knowledge. So if you, let's say let's say you have a talent to become a very good lawyer. If you don't identify that talent, and if you don't get the right knowledge, and if you don't get the right training to move that knowledge into a skill, you will not be able to become a very good lawyer, because you will only be known as a very good lawyer when you're getting results, when you're producing something with what you know. So let's say you want to produce maybe a cap, you want to produce a telephone, you want to produce a computer. You cannot just jump to say that I want to produce a mobile phone. Your mind will not even go there until you form the foundation first, until you get the knowledge that can produce a phone. The basis. Do you understand what goes on or goes into production, into the production of a phone? Do you know it? Do you know how it is designed? Do you know all the components in it? If you don't have that, you won't. And the mind is said that it is processing something all the time. The only thing is that it is processing what you have put in. So where you want to go, what results that you want to get, that's what you have to have the store up knowledge in. And then once you start to build that knowledge, you can move that knowledge into a scale. And once you get a scale in anything, you'll be able to get results. So my name is Obendako. I'm talking about store up knowledge. Our lives only reflect the knowledge that we have stored. What I know is what I live. What you know is what you live. If the results you are seeing in your life is not good, so anybody at all can subjugate you or can subjugate me because I don't have the knowledge. If I have the knowledge to live my freedom is only possible when you have the right knowledge. That's why they still continue to subjugate the Africans. That's why they still continue to dominate us. Why? Because we are not storing the right knowledge to take charge of our destiny. It's not only at the continental level, it's not only at the company level, it's not only at the country level, even at the personal level. It's the same thing. What knowledge are you storing? What knowledge are you storing? What is it that you think your life is about? Are you spending time to learn, to store the right knowledge in that? What is it? What is it? What do you think you are gifted? What are you passionate about? What results do you want to get? What do you want to build with your life? You first of all have to have the knowledge stored, which means you are going to exchange your time. When everybody else is playing, you are somewhere learning. When everybody else is dancing, you're picking a book, you're learning, you're going for seminar, you're going for lectures, you're studying. Nobody is able to produce anything until they have the right process to produce it. And the process starts with the knowledge. You cannot even generate a lot of ideas if your knowledge is that limited. And things don't change until there is a new entrance of knowledge. So the more you are able to get quality knowledge, the more you're able to get the knowledge to produce what you want to produce. Whatever that your life is about, whatever that you want to build with your life, there is some amount of data somewhere that somebody has done. If you don't go to assess it, you will not be able to have the foundation to turn that knowledge into a skill, because anybody who gets results is skilled. Anybody who's able to produce anything is skilled. You go to the Olympics, those who are winning, they didn't just win. They were trained, they were given data, they were given information, and then they practiced, became a skill. And then when the battle came, they were able to win. So store up knowledge is the foundation of everything that you want to do with your life. A lot rests with men. If you want to build a great country, it will start with the mind of our people, the knowledge that they continue to process. Unfortunately, we're still processing knowledge that is about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and we are not upgrading it. The rest of the world has moved on. We're still drumming and dancing, and we are calling it culture. And yet, when it comes to the serious things of life that we need, when it comes to things that will handle, let's say, food, you cannot feed yourself. As the population is growing, as we are growing as a people, you cannot use the old method of agriculture to feed the people. And the only way you can get a new method is what? Is by you storing up, investing in knowledge, trying to find out how is it done, trying to go to the books. So the same, if you have an idea, if you want to build a business, first you must store up the relevant knowledge in what it takes to build a business, so that you'll be able to know the processes. So how is the idea changed into a business? What are the components? What are the things that are involved if you want to build any idea into anything? For instance, if it's a business, you must know something about finance, you must know something about management, you must know something about people, you must know something about the country, the economy. You must be able to hold yourself when everything is not working. You will not be able to, you cannot go around saying that, okay, the business is difficult, everything is not working, so let me go and look for anointing water. No, because you have the knowledge that can win. So without store up knowledge, life stagnates. Life stagnates. Your endurance limit reflects the knowledge that you have stored. Your persistence, how persistent you are, the character that you have built has a lot to do with the knowledge, the quality of knowledge that you have stored, because you are all living out of that. We replenish them, yes, but you cannot start to use it until it is stored. Your consistency, your character, your compassion, your endurance, your innovation, the innovations that you're able to come up with, the creative thinking ability that you have, they all are stemming from the knowledge that you have stored. So I would say that if you're a young guy in Ghana, if you're a young guy in Nigeria, if you're a young lady, use a lot of your time to acquire the knowledge that will get you to where you want to go. Whatever that you want to build to your life, the foundation of it is knowledge. If you don't spend time to acquire and to store that, life will be so difficult. That's why when you meet a young guy complaining so much about the difficulties in our country, the problem, yes, the difficulties are there, fantastic. Yes, we all agree, we don't deny that. But if you have the relevant knowledge stored, you'll be able to deal with them. Not maybe in a day, but you'll be able to deal with them, because a lot of people are dealing with it because they have the right foundation, which is the store up knowledge, the right knowledge. When somebody else gets up early in the morning tomorrow and is sitting somewhere and talking about things that will not improve his life, you are getting into books, you are asking questions, you are learning, you are asking, what do I have to do to become this? You are acquiring the right knowledge. And once you have the knowledge, you'll be able to turn that knowledge into a skill through training. And once you'll be able to turn that into a skill, you will get results. be able to produce something with it. That's why those who win in this life are people who are skilled. Those who can produce consistent, continuous results. It's not lotto, it's not chance. It's a built-up skill. And they did not get there in a day. They first built the foundation. And the foundation is knowledge. And the foundation is knowledge. So what attracts to you? What gets your attention? What gets your attention? What gets your... If you're attracted so much to entertainment, the other day they said that one entertainer was coming from somewhere and you saw these young boys going to the airport. They have nothing to do. That's why they could stop everything that they were doing, go to the airport to cheer somebody who was building himself. And the same boy will go and say, someone say that the country is difficult. It's not difficult. It's because you are not setting your priorities right. And one of the best priority that you have to set is to store up knowledge. Because the knowledge you invest in yourself, until you're dead, nobody can take it from you. Whatever that I learn, whatever that I study constantly, they store up. And my choices and my decisions, my dexterity is coming from the knowledge that I've stored, that I've been able to turn into a skill. So it's not magic. It's not something that it's not something that, because I think the way they have tried to condition us to interpret a lot of things. The other day my friend was trying to set up a new process. He's trying to build a factory, and he went to meet this guy and said that, no, you have to come, let me go and pray and sanctify the place before you need a proper knowledge as to how things are done. But if your knowledge is weak, then you are driven by fear, you are driven by superstition, you are driven by all those things, and you cannot do much because your knowledge, you have not stored up the proper knowledge. It's like somebody who is always eating popcorn. If you are eating popcorn all the time, what it means that you'll never be full and you're not eating healthy. And once your food is no good, when there is any mosquito somewhere, you go down. So if you refuse to store up the right knowledge, then life will become difficult. The life will become trouble. Then everything will say that, but I've tried, it's not working, because you need first to store the proper knowledge. Whatever that you are doing, there is some kind of proper knowledge somewhere. Whatever that you're building with your life, there is a proper knowledge somewhere. If you have any difficulty, any pain in anything, there is a proper knowledge that you probably might not have thought of. Once you think of it and you go to find out where the proper knowledge is, you'll be able to get a skill out of that knowledge if you train. And then you'll be able to produce the right results that you want. Because nobody can produce the results that you want for you. Nobody can. For instance, if it's finance, poverty, being broke all the time, struggling, it's a product of the absence of quality finance knowledge that has not been stored, that has not been translated into a skill. But because we can, a lot of things that we don't understand, we just say that, okay, it is with God. And that's why people consistently live life, struggle all the time, because they refuse to apply this basic rule, which means that you have to store, you have to pay attention, you have to go for that which works. So if you're looking for finance, for instance, if you're looking for money, if you're trying to build wealth, there are people who have done it, who have put their wisdom in books. How many have you studied? How many have you bought? The whole year of 2018, did you go to any bookshop? Or did you go to any online bookshop? Did you read anything about that which you said you were building? Sometimes I meet friends who say they want to build business. I ask them, have you read any book on business? Once you're not storing the knowledge, you can't build it like that. So everything, if it's finance, go. There are books there. At least start with that. Once you start and you start to train out of that which you have learned, you'll be able to get results, because our results reflect the kind of knowledge that you have stored, the quality of it. Results does not just happen like that. So my name is Obindako. I am coming to close, and I'm talking about to store up knowledge. Everything that you want to do with your life, there is knowledge for it. You just have to find out. There is always a measure of knowledge that every one of us has. Only thing is that most of us, what we have cannot produce results. And so we struggle, we pain, complain, we go through a lot of problems and difficulties, and yet we don't know how much knowledge that we have not stored. If you don't get the right knowledge, you will blame everything. You blame, and usually you blame the devil, you blame demon, you blame all those things that they have told us to blame. And those are not the ones that you have to blame. Your freedom is in the stored up knowledge that you have. Your freedom is in the knowledge that you process. Your freedom. Nobody can beat you if you have the right knowledge. Knowledge liberates. The right knowledge in anything that you want to do. The only thing is that a lot of people are spending time in getting knowledge in something that they will never use. So let's say you go to the university. They go and teach you something that when you come. So people have gone to university. They can use anything with the knowledge that they gave them, because that knowledge was not needed. The knowledge that you didn't use, you didn't need it. The essence of knowledge is for it to move you to the next stage of your life. So whatever that you are doing, whatever you want to build company, you want to have a good career, you want to build a family, you want to be a good father, you want to build a country, there's a way that they are built. The better and the closer you are to the right knowledge and you store them, the better you'll be able to build the required skills, and the better you'll be able to produce the results. So if you're not producing the results, let's backtrack. Let's go and look at the skill, and let's go and look at the knowledge. Do we have it? Is it there? You cannot be using all your time to be laughing, watching Nigerian movies, like watching Ghanaian movies, where they're telling you about all the witchcraft and everything, and you think that with that kind of knowledge, you can do something that is deceptive. You will not be able to do anything significantly with your life if all the knowledge that you have acquired, knowledge coming from movie, coming from politics, sometimes coming from sports and even religiosity, because you must have the knowledge that works, that applies, and a lot of them are in books. So pick the topic, pick the things that you think your life is about. Every one of us, our life is about something. You have to decide, what is it that you want to do with your life? What results do you want to get? What is it that you want to be known for? That one, start to get knowledge on that. You have some people know how to draw very well, but they have never read a book, they have never trained, and so the talent is just raw. The only way that your talent will become a skill that can produce consistent results, and results that can benefit society and even sometimes be monetized and create wealth out of that, is not the results that is coming from the talent. No, talent must have value addition, and value addition is the knowledge and the training that you get, which becomes a skill. And so if you don't break things down like that, then you will not know how to use your time, then you will be complaining. And this principle, wherever you live in this world, if you understand this, you will never feel like you're a victim or you are disadvantaged in living anywhere, because it's a skill, because it's a principle, it's a formula. So store up the right knowledge. Don't waste your time. Build up the right knowledge. If you want to build a company, go for the right knowledge. Translate that knowledge into a skill. And once it gets into a proper skill, you get results. It's just a formula. It's like you going to the 10th floor of a story building and trying to fall. If you step off, gravity will bring you down. You don't need anybody to prophesy over this. You will come down. Why? Because it's a formula. It's a formula. It works. 1 + 1 is 2, no matter where you say it. And so this one is like that. If you store the right knowledge in anything, the only thing is that you have to know, what is it that I want to do with my life? What knowledge do I need? Can I go through the process to turn that knowledge into a skill? And then when that thing is a skill, I will get results. Because results, products, they come out of skill development. They come out of the skill that you have developed. And so when everybody is wasting their time, don't waste your time. Every time that you have, store up knowledge. Get something. Read, research, develop yourself constantly. Because everything else in your life will stem out of that. your understanding, the depth of your knowledge, the depth of your wisdom, the depth of your understanding. They will come out of that with your story. What attracts to you? One thing about the knowledge that you store, the quality one, is that it's more satisfying than sports. It's more gratifying than knowledge. That's why you can see a man who is doing something and who is very much into it and intense. The satisfaction is in the knowledge that you have stored. It's not in the sports. It's not in the entertainment. The gratification or the yes, you being gratified, the knowledge it is. Once you get the right knowledge and you are certain of what you're building, there's nothing that is more fulfilling than that you now know what you're doing and you know how to move through the processes to get results. If you see anybody who is confused in this life, it's because they are not sure of what they're doing. They have not built the right knowledge. If you see anybody complaining and murmuring and becoming jittery and wanting to harm themselves, it's because of what? The store up knowledge that they have is not linked to destiny and to purpose. So store up knowledge is so much important. If you have not worked on that, work on that. Go get relevant books, study, build yourself. Stop wasting time on things that you can never change. We have a platform, WhatsApp platform for school and for things like that. And sometimes I look at the things that they continuously discuss. I'm like, so if you discuss this for 30 years, what progress is it going to bring to you? If you continue to talk about these people, how is it going to improve your life? Why don't you use the same time to store up something? Maybe you have a skill in writing. Can you buy books and read about how to write and write well? Maybe you have a skill in building. Can you go and study that well? Maybe you have a skill in business. Maybe you have a skill in politics. Whatever skill that you, maybe whatever passion, whatever talent that you have, can you store up the knowledge there? Because your stamina will come from the knowledge that you have built. When you see people give up on any little thing, it's because they did not store the right knowledge. Somebody fails 10 times and he gets back, 20 times and he continues to fight back. Why? Because they store up that knowledge. So when everybody else was playing somewhere, they were reading, they were building themselves, they were breaking things down in their head. So they never quit. They continue to fight on, they continue to push, they continue to go, no matter how many hurdles are thrown on their way. Because of what? Because they have the store up knowledge, so they are extracting from it. It's a reservoir. It never gets finished. Knowledge is current. It flows like that. It flows like that. So my name is Kwabena. Thank you very much for watching. Store up the knowledge, the relevant knowledge that you need to push your life, and convert that knowledge, change that knowledge, translate that knowledge into a skill, and use that skill to produce the results that you want. Anything that you want to produce with your life, use that. Use that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.